Well, Angel Reese just showed us. And baby, what we saw wasn't pretty. Let's not even ease into it. Angel straight up refused to play. Suit on, hair done, cameras rolling, game clock ticking. And when her number was called in the second half, she sat, crossed her legs, and said no. No warm-up, no readiness. Just a cold, calculated, I'm good. An excuse? If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. Oh, you'll love this one. Back pain. Back pain. After being benched the entire first half by her own coach. Back pain. Coincidentally popping up just after her disciplinary suspension. You telling me the same Angel Reese, who was perfectly fine dancing on TikTok 24 hours ago, now can't check into a basketball game? Girl, come on. Let's call it what it is. Not a back injury. Not a health scare. A tantrum. A full-blown diva meltdown in the middle of a professional game. And the worst part? It wasn't private. It wasn't behind closed doors. This wasn't team business. This was a spectacle. In front of fans. Cameras. Coaches. Teammates. Opponents. The whole damn league. And she made her message loud and clear. I don't care. And that would have been bad enough. But Angel didn't stop there. Oh no. She added insult to injury, literally. After faking the injury, after refusing to play, she doubled down with the one thing she always seemed to have in her back pocket, disrespect. She hopped on social media and threw her teammates under the bus, called them whack, claimed she deserved better, basically told the world she's not the problem. They are a whole team of grown women, most of them older than her, veterans with actual experience. And she had the audacity to blame them for her drama. Imagine that. You refuse to play. You sit out with a fake injury, and then turn around and shame the same people who've been carrying the team while you chase headlines? Make it make sense. Meanwhile, inside that locker room, phew, it's a volcano waiting to blow. Sources say the coach was furious. Teammates weren't just disappointed. They were done, silent, stone-faced, because at a certain point, it ain't about what you say. It's about the energy you bring. And Angel's energy? Toxic. Heavy. The kind that drags a whole franchise down like an anchor. And don't forget, this isn't the first incident. This ain't isolated. Angel Reese has been dancing with chaos since day one. From calling out vets, to faking like she's a leader of a team she barely knows, to posting shade at teammates who actually show up and play through injuries. This is a pattern, a messy one. And now, people are starting to see the truth behind all that flash. The nails, the lashes, the attitude, the brand. Behind all that is a player who doesn't want to be held accountable. And let's talk about that suspension, because that's what started the spiral, right? The coaching staff benched her for the first half of the game as a disciplinary action. A warning, a team move, something meant to reel her back in. But instead of learning from it, reflecting on it, taking it like a professional, Angel Reese decided to one-up the drama. She turned a minor disciplinary moment into a major scandal. And in doing so, she didn't just embarrass herself. She embarrassed the entire Chicago Sky organization. The franchise looks weak now, chaotic, leaderless, because instead of taking control, enforcing discipline and setting boundaries, the coaching staff let Angel become the showrunner. And now, the whole team's credibility is bleeding out. But maybe that's exactly what Angel wanted. Because let's not play dumb. This is looking a whole lot like someone trying to force their way out. Yep, you've seen it before. That passive-aggressive, I'm too big for this team energy. The why am I here vibes. It's giving intentional sabotage. It's giving exit strategy. Because if she makes herself too toxic, too difficult to manage, then the trade becomes the team's problem, not hers. Smart? Maybe. But classless? Absolutely. Because real pros don't abandon their teammates mid-game. They don't fake injuries when the scoreboard's still ticking. And they damn sure don't criticize the same players who've been grinding beside them all season. The same players who show up, who suit up, and don't complain, even when things aren't going their way. This league is small, y'all, word gets around fast. And Angel's name? It's turning sour. Her rep is going from rising star to locker room liability, from face of the future to cautionary tale. And here's what's really scary for her. People are tired, not just fans. Teammates, coaches, executives, they're all watching. And the love she once had, it's evaporating fast because people were rooting for her. Seriously, Angel Reese had a wave of support, a whole movement behind her. People love the confidence, the fire, the flair. But what good is flair when there's no foundation? What good is a fire if it just burns everything around you? At some point, all that promise starts looking like a problem. And let's be honest, the league doesn't have time to babysit energy like this. Especially not now. Not when women's basketball is booming. Not when millions of eyes are finally tuning in. There's no space for sideshow behavior when the main event is the game itself. Angel's at a crossroads. She can grow from this, or she can blow it all up, because if she thinks another team is going to roll out the red carpet and hand her the keys to the castle after this kind of stunt, she's dreaming. Front offices are watching. They're already asking questions. Can she be coached? Can she be trusted? Will she buy in or tear the team apart from inside? And when those questions start popping up, so do trade talks, so do buyouts, so do quiet exits. So yeah, maybe this was Angel's plan. Maybe she's trying to get out of Chicago. But she better hope the next team is willing to take on the baggage. Because after this, after faking an injury, refusing to play, and slander her own team, that baggage is heavy. And the WNBA, it's not about to carry it for her. Now let me ask you something. When you saw Angel on that bench, arms folded, face stone cold, refusing to go in, did she look like a leader? Did she look like someone fighting for her team? Did she look like someone who loves the game? Or did she look like someone who loves the spotlight more than the sport? That's the real question. And only Angel can answer it. But for now, she quit on her team. She quit on the moment. And if she's not careful, she might quit on her own future. 2. Sometimes you leave the building, but sometimes you just quit on the inside. And when Angel Reese refused to go into that game, when she sat on that bench like the moment didn't deserve her presence, she quit. She didn't say the words, didn't storm out, didn't tear off her jersey like it was a reality show elimination. Nope, she did something even louder. She looked her coach dead in the face and said, with her silence, "I'm above this." And that's not just quitting on a game. That's quitting on your sisters. Quitting on every woman in that locker room who taped up bad ankles, pushed the back spasms, and still showed up when the lights came on. That's quitting on the jersey, the city, the league, and most of all, it's quitting on herself. Because all that power Angel Reese walks with, all that influence, all that confidence, it used to be inspiring. It used to feel like a movement, like a new voice shaking up an old space. But now it's just noise. Because what good is power when you weaponize it against your own team? What good is influence when it divides instead of leads? What good is I'm her when every action says you're only for you? Let's rewind for a second. Remember when Angel first got drafted? That energy was electric. The media couldn't get enough. She had swagger. She had edge. She had that chip on her shoulder that made you root for her. She was women's basketball's new problem child, in the best way. Disruptive, bold, fearless. But somewhere along the way, that chip turned into a brick. Heavy, sharp, destructive. Now she's not kicking down doors. She's kicking in walls that her teammates have to rebuild. And when she faked that injury, claimed back pain just to dodge accountability, that was the final straw. Because a back injury? Really? That's what you go with? You telling me you were too hurt to play, right after a disciplinary suspension? It's not just a lie that stings. It's the insult to everyone who's ever played through real pain, who's ever iced a shoulder and gone out anyway, who's ever limped into practice because they care more about the game than their ego. Angel Reese used an injury as a shield from her own consequences. And when athletes start doing that, they stop being athletes. They start being distractions. And distractions don't get championships. Distractions don't get respect. Distractions get moved. So yeah, maybe this is the end of the road in Chicago. Maybe that's exactly what Angel wants. Maybe she's trying to force the front office's hand, hoping for a trade, hoping for a clean slate somewhere with brighter lights and softer expectations. But let me tell you something. No matter where she ends up, the mirror comes with her. The real issue is in Chicago. It's not the teammates. It's not the coach. It's Angel versus Angel. And right now, she's losing that fight because talent without accountability, that's just wasted potential wrapped in a highlight reel. You think teams haven't seen this story before? You think front offices are going to line up to sign someone who bails when things get tough? Someone who tears apart a locker room before the playoff push even begins? They've seen this movie, and they know how it ends. See, Angel keeps writing these scenes like she's the misunderstood star, like she's the victim of a bad system, like she's just too real for the league. But real recognizes real. And right now, the real ones are falling back. The vets, quietly shaking their heads. The rookies, watching and learning what not to do. Even her fans, starting to go ghost. Because how do you defend someone who won't even defend their own team? Let's talk about those teammates for a second. Those women deserve better. They didn't ask to be collateral damage. In Angel's personal rebellion, they didn't sign up to be scapegoats for someone else's ego trip. They came to win, to compete, to build something real in Chicago. And now, they're caught in the middle of a circus. And you know the worst part? Angel thinks she's making a point. She thinks this is strategy. Like this whole stunt was some boss move, a flex, watch me control the narrative moment. But she's forgetting something important. You can't outplay a game you're not even willing to play. You can't win a war you started against your own squad. You can't call yourself a queen while burning down your own kingdom. And let's be very clear, this ain't just an Angel Reese issue. This is about what kind of culture we're creating in the league, what kind of behavior we excuse, what kind of example we're setting for the next wave of hoopers watching from middle school bleachers. Because somewhere out there, there's a 14-year-old girl watching this unfold, thinking, if I get famous enough, I don't have to be accountable either. If I get enough followers, I don't need to listen to my coach. If I don't like my team, I can just blow it up until I get traded. That's dangerous. That's how you fracture a league before it even finds its full strength. That's how you stunt growth. And the WNBA deserves better. It deserves professionalism. It deserves maturity. It deserves players who fight for each other, not just themselves. So what happens now? What does the Sky do? Do they suspend her again? Do they trade her? Do they try to salvage what's left? Or do they finally say, enough, enough babysitting egos, enough letting talent excuse toxicity, enough letting the locker room rot from the inside out just to protect the brand? Because talent doesn't mean anything if it comes with chaos. And Angel, she's got a decision to make. She can rebuild. She can apologize. She can own her part, shut her mouth, and get to work. Or she can keep spiraling, keep making excuses, keep being the loudest in the room with the least to show for it. But either way, the league is watching. And respect? That's earned. One game at a time. One practice at a time. One decision at a time. And right now, Angel Reese is running out of chances. Because the W is growing. Fast. It's turning into a league where leadership matters more than clout. Where poise gets you further than posts. Where veterans and rookies alike are held to the same standard. And if you're not about that, you're going to get left behind. So, Angel, what now? Are you going to keep playing yourself? Or are you finally going to play for something bigger than yourself? Because the back pain might have been fake, but the consequences? Those are very real. Angel Reese is spiraling. And it ain't a rumor anymore. It's written all over her face, her feed, and her feet that won't even step on the court. This ain't about basketball. Not anymore. This is about character. And right now, Angel's character is under a microscope. No coach, no PR team, no hashtag is going to cover up what just went down. Because when you fake an injury just to duck a suspension, and then throw your teammates under the bus like they're dead weight. You're not just quitting a game. You're quitting your identity as a pro. Because professionalism ain't just about ball handling and rebounds. It's about honor. It's about how you carry yourself when your name ain't trending, when the lights dim, when the crowd's booing, not cheering. That's when your true self shows up. And what Angel showed us was pride over principle. See, what makes this whole thing so much deeper is the missed opportunity. The moment she could have had she walked into that second half. Chin up, lace tight, focus, she could have reclaimed the story. She could have walked back into the game like, yeah, I was benched. I deserved it. But I'm here. Let's work. Phew, that would have been powerful. Redemption arc growth arc. People love that. Fans eat that humility right up. The whole narrative would have shifted overnight. But nah, Angel chose the ego arc. The y'all need me more than I need you energy. And that energy, it's not sustainable in this league. Not when your numbers don't justify the drama. Not when your attitude becomes the main event. Not when every game becomes a question mark. Like, is Angel going to show up or is she going to show out? And that uncertainty, that's poison in a locker room because trust matters. And once your team can't trust you, you're done. Doesn't matter how famous you are. Doesn't matter how many endorsement deals you sign. When the women beside you don't believe in you. When your coach is pacing up and down the sideline looking like he's holding back a full-blown eruption, you already lost. And let's keep it real. That coach, he was pissed, not disappointed, not confused. Furious. You could see it in his body language. That silent fury. The way he clenched his clipboard. The way he stopped even making eye contact with her after halftime. That's the look of a coach who's been disrespected on a core level. Because when a player refuses to enter a game, especially after being benched for disciplinary reasons, that's a direct challenge to authority. That's not a miscommunication. That's a power move. And the coach felt it. But what Angel forgot, the power in this league don't come from rebellion. It comes from respect. You earn it one possession at a time. And right now, she's bankrupt. Let's talk about the fallout. 'Cause trust, the ripples are spreading fast. First, her teammates. Word around the league is they're done. The vets, they don't want to deal with it. The young players, they're confused, torn between idolizing the image and confronting the behavior. But here's the kicker. Nobody trusts her anymore. Not because of the suspension. That happens. Not because of the outbursts. Everyone's human. But because when the team needed her to lead, or at least just play, she dipped. You can't recover from that with an Instagram caption. You can't fix that with some cute tunnel fit. You gotta do the work. You gotta sit in it. Admit it. Grow through it. But is Angel ready for that? Or is she still stuck in a loop of performative apologies and vague tweets that don't mean a damn thing? Because we've seen this story before. A rising star who loses the plot, who becomes addicted to attention and allergic to accountability, who forgets that the league has options, that for every Angel Reese, there's a dozen players waiting in the wings, hungry, humble, and ready. And they don't care about clout. They care about the craft. So let's go back to the beginning. What is Angel really mad about? Is it the suspension? The criticism? The fact that the coach finally said no more? Or is it deeper? Is she mad that the league doesn't bend for her the way college did? That being loud and flashy doesn't buy you patience at the pro level? That the same fire that made her famous now makes her a liability? Because if Angel looked in the mirror, and I mean really looked, she'd see that the real conflict ain't with the coach, ain't with the media, ain't with Chicago. It's with herself. And that's the fight she keeps dodging. But she can't run forever. Because this league, it's small. Word travels. The moment you're labeled a locker room problem, teams start pulling back. Doors that once swung wide open, suddenly locked. That Nike bag might not come with the next contract. And all because you couldn't humble yourself and check in for the second half of a basketball game? That's tragic. Not because she fumbled the game, but because she fumbled the moment. The chance to show she's more than attitude, more than antics, more than Instagram highlights. That she's a real one, a baller, a teammate, a pro. But instead, she sat and let the world watch her choose ego over evolution. And now, everyone's watching what she does next. Will she double down? Or will she finally grow up? Because the league ain't gonna wait. The team, they're already moving on emotionally, even if she's still on the payroll. And the fans, they might love a villain, but only if she's winning. So, Angel, listen carefully. The spotlight don't love nobody. It just uses you. It amplifies who you already are. And if what's being amplified is drama, selfishness, and ego, you won't last. And all that talk about being her, it'll just be noise and a highlight reel people stop watching. So, if you really want to be her, be the woman who checks in, even when she's mad. Be the woman who plays through pain, real or not. Be the woman who lifts up her teammates, even when they fall short. Because that's what greatness looks like. Not pettiness, not faking, not sitting out when the team is bleeding, but standing up when it's hard, when it's ugly, when it ain't about you. That's legacy. And right now, yours is on the line. It's not even about basketball anymore. It's about principle. It's about the code. That unwritten rule every real hooper knows. You ride for your team, even when you're mad, even when you feel slighted, even when the coach benches you and the cameras are watching and your pride is bruised down to the bone. You still ride. But Angel didn't. She sat. And not because she couldn't play, but because she wouldn't. That's the part nobody can shake. The part that lingers in the air like smoke after fire. Because talent don't mean nothing if your heart ain't in it. If your loyalty disappears the second you're not the center of attention. And that's exactly what happened. The minute Angel wasn't being worshipped, the minute the coach demanded accountability, the minute the attention wasn't flattering, she bailed. Back pain, eye rolls, crossed arms, silent protest on national TV. It was a statement, and not a good one. And the real ones in the league, they saw it. The Sylvia Fowles types, the Candace Parkers, the legends who bled for this league when the stands were half empty and the checks barely cleared. They saw it, and they felt it, felt the disrespect, felt the entitlement. Because back in their day, you didn't quit over drama. You suited up. You handled it in the locker room. And you showed up on the court like your name meant something. Angel's name did mean something. Now, it's carrying weight for all the wrong reasons. She's not feared. She's doubted. She's not admired. She's tolerated. And the only question left now is this. Does she even care? Because if she does, if there's still a competitor and there's somewhere under the lashes and the lights and the posts and the pride, then now is the time to stand up, to stop playing the victim, to stop ducking accountability, to walk back into that building, look every single one of those teammates in the eye and say, I messed up, but I'm here. Let's work. Not for a brand, not for a headline, but for the team. Because real hoopers, they don't run. They lace up. They show up. They grow up. And if Angel Reese wants to last in this league, wants to be more than a moment, more than a meme, more than a marketing tool, then she better get serious. Because the game moves on. The team moves on. And the league, it don't beg anybody to stay. So Angel, this is your last call. Play the game or watch it leave you behind.